Espionage played a critical and often unseen role in World War II, shaping the outcome of major battles and influencing the strategies of both Allied and Axis powers. Spies infiltrated enemy lines, stole classified information, and engaged in daring missions that would change the course of history. Intelligence-gathering operations were vital in providing military leaders with the information they needed to make decisions that would affect millions of lives. The war saw an unprecedented rise in the use of espionage, with each side developing extensive intelligence networks to gain the upper hand. From double agents to codebreakers, the work of spies during World War II remains a fascinating and complex chapter in the history of warfare. One of the most significant intelligence operations of the war was the breaking of the German Enigma code. The Enigma machine, used by the German military to encrypt their communications, was considered unbreakable. However, a team of Polish cryptographers made early breakthroughs before the war began, which they shared with British intelligence. At Bletchley Park, a secret facility in England, brilliant minds like Alan Turing worked tirelessly to develop machines capable of decoding Enigma messages. This effort, known as Ultra, provided the Allies with critical intelligence on German troop movements, naval operations, and strategic plans. The ability to intercept and decipher these communications gave the Allies a decisive advantage, shortening the war and saving countless lives. While code-breaking was essential, human intelligence played an equally crucial role. The British Secret Intelligence Service, MI6, and the Special Operations Executive, SOE, recruited and trained agents to conduct espionage and sabotage missions across Europe. These agents operated behind enemy lines, gathering intelligence, organizing resistance movements, and disrupting German supply lines. The work was dangerous and required exceptional bravery, as capture often meant torture and execution. One such agent was Violette Sabo, a French-British operative who conducted missions in occupied France. Despite her capture and subsequent execution, her courage and dedication remain a testament to the sacrifices made by intelligence operatives during the war. The United States also played a significant role in intelligence operations through the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, the precursor to the modern CIA. The OSS coordinated espionage activities, trained agents in clandestine warfare, and collaborated with resistance groups across Europe and Asia. Their operations included infiltrating enemy territories, gathering intelligence, and conducting psychological warfare. One notable figure was Virginia Hall, an American operative who worked undercover in France despite having a prosthetic leg. She organized resistance networks, provided intelligence on German troop movements, and played a critical role in preparing for the D-Day invasion. Her achievements earned her the Distinguished Service Cross, making her one of the most highly decorated female spies of the war. Double agents also played a pivotal role in the conflict. The British double-cross system successfully turned captured German spies into double agents who fed misinformation to the Nazi regime. One of the most famous double agents was Juan Pujol Garcia, known by the codename Garbo. Pujol, a Spanish citizen, initially approached the Germans, offering his services as a spy. However, he was secretly working for British intelligence. Through a series of elaborate deceptions, Pujol convinced the Germans that the D-Day invasion would occur at the Pas de Calais rather than Normandy. This misinformation led the Germans to divert critical resources away from the actual invasion site, contributing to the Allies' success on June 6, 1944. Pujol's work was so convincing that the Germans awarded him the Iron Cross, while the British honored him with the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. The Soviet Union also maintained an extensive and effective intelligence network during the war. The Red Orchestra, a group of Soviet spies operating in Nazi-occupied Europe, provided invaluable intelligence on German military activities. Led by Leopold Trepper, the Red Orchestra infiltrated key positions within the German government and military, passing information back to Moscow. This intelligence was crucial in preparing for major battles on the Eastern Front, including the Battle of Stalingrad. Soviet intelligence agents also conducted operations in the United States, gathering information on the Manhattan Project and the development of the atomic bomb. The work of these agents not only aided the Soviet war effort but also laid the foundation for the Cold War intelligence rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. Resistance movements across Europe relied heavily on intelligence networks to coordinate their activities. In France, the French resistance gathered information on German troop movements, sabotaged railways, and assisted Allied airmen who had been shot down. British SOE agents worked closely with these groups, supplying them with weapons, explosives, and intelligence. The Maquis, rural guerrilla bands, played a crucial role in disrupting German operations in the lead-up to the Allied invasion of France. Similar resistance networks operated in Norway, Poland, and Yugoslavia, where intelligence gathered by local operatives contributed to major military successes. These networks often faced brutal reprisals from German forces, but their determination and courage were instrumental in weakening the Axis war machine. In addition to conventional espionage, psychological warfare played a significant role in World War II intelligence operations. Both sides used propaganda to influence public opinion, demoralize enemy troops, and sway neutral countries. The Allies dropped leaflets over occupied Europe, broadcasting messages encouraging resistance and undermining German morale. Radio broadcasts, such as those from the BBC, provided a lifeline of information to occupied populations and spread disinformation to confuse the enemy. The British Political Warfare Executive, PWE, coordinated these efforts, crafting messages designed to exploit German fears and divisions. Similarly, the Germans used propaganda to bolster their image and sow distrust among Allied nations, although their efforts were ultimately less effective due to the resilience of Allied information networks. Espionage during World War II was not only a battle of intelligence but a clash of ideologies and national survival. As the war intensified, spy networks expanded across continents, involving thousands of agents risking their lives. The Allies and Axis powers relied on espionage to gain critical insights, sabotage enemy operations, and influence the war's outcome. The stakes were unimaginably high, and intelligence operations often determined the success or failure of entire military campaigns. One of the most remarkable spy operations was the British double-cross system. The British Security Service, MI5, skillfully turned captured German agents into double agents. These double agents fed false information to the Nazi High Command, misleading them about Allied troop movements and invasion plans. This deception was crucial during Operation Fortitude, where the Allies tricked the Germans into believing that the D-Day invasion would target Pas-de-Calais rather than Normandy. This ruse diverted German reinforcements, enabling the successful Allied landings on June 6, 1944. Without the work of double agents like Juan Pujol Garcia, known as Agent Garbo, the Normandy invasion might have faced catastrophic resistance. Pujol's ability to weave an intricate web of credible lies earned him the trust of the Nazis while secretly serving the British cause. The Soviet Union operated an extensive espionage network, both within German-occupied territories and internationally. The Red Orchestra was one of the most effective Soviet spy rings. Operating in Nazi-controlled Europe, its agents provided crucial intelligence on German troop movements, war production, and military strategies. The network's effectiveness came at a great cost, as many of its members were captured and executed by the Gestapo. Meanwhile, the Soviets also infiltrated Allied powers, including the United States Manhattan Project. Soviet spies, such as Klaus Fuchs and the Rosenbergs, relayed critical information on atomic bomb development, accelerating the Soviet Union's own nuclear program after the war. The United States also relied heavily on intelligence during the conflict. The Office of Strategic Services, OSS, the predecessor of the CIA, coordinated espionage, sabotage, and psychological warfare. One of the OSS most notable operations involved supporting resistance movements in occupied Europe. American agents supplied weapons, training, and intelligence to groups such as the French Resistance, who disrupted German supply lines and communications. The OSS also engaged in covert missions in Asia, gathering intelligence on Japanese troop movements and facilitating guerrilla operations. American intelligence gathering played a vital role in the Pacific theater, particularly in decoding Japanese naval communications. The breaking of the Japanese Naval Code, known as JN-25, led to the decisive Allied victory at the Battle of Midway, shifting the tide of the war in the Pacific. Resistance movements across Europe played an integral role in espionage efforts. In France, the Maquis and other underground groups conducted sabotage operations, gathered intelligence, and facilitated the escape of downed Allied pilots. Similarly, in Poland, the Home Army provided detailed reports on German troop deployments and the horrific atrocities occurring in concentration camps. Polish intelligence agents even smuggled key information about the German V-2 rocket program to the Allies, enabling targeted bombing raids on these facilities. Resistance fighters often operated under extreme conditions, facing brutal reprisals if discovered. Despite the risks, their contributions to the Allied war effort were immeasurable. Espionage also extended to the battlefield through code-breaking efforts. Bletchley Park, the British code-breaking center, achieved extraordinary success in decrypting the German Enigma code. This breakthrough allowed Allied commanders to anticipate and counter German military operations. The intelligence, codenamed Ultra, was so valuable that it remained classified long after the war. Similarly, American codebreakers deciphered Japanese diplomatic and military communications, allowing the Allies to intercept and disrupt enemy plans. The impact of these cryptographic achievements cannot be overstated. They shortened the war and saved countless lives by providing real-time intelligence. Human intelligence, or HUMINT, also played a pivotal role. Spy networks relied on individuals willing to risk everything for their cause. These agents operated under deep cover, often adopting false identities and enduring intense psychological strain. Many spies faced capture, torture, and execution if discovered. For example, Violette Sabo, a British Special Operations executive agent, conducted sabotage missions in occupied France before being captured by the Gestapo. Despite brutal interrogations, she revealed nothing and was ultimately executed at the Ravensbrück concentration camp. Her bravery and the sacrifices of countless others exemplified the extraordinary courage required in wartime espionage. Women played a significant role in World War II espionage, often defying societal expectations. The Special Operations Executive, SOE, recruited women for missions in occupied Europe, where their presence was less likely to arouse suspicion. Agents like Nancy Wake, known as the White Mouse, evaded capture while coordinating large-scale sabotage operations. Another remarkable agent, Virginia Hall, worked with the French resistance despite having a prosthetic leg. Her intelligence reports and organizing of supply drops earned her the Distinguished Service Cross. These women not only gathered intelligence but also challenged gender norms through their daring and effectiveness in the field. The legacy of World War II espionage extends beyond the war itself. Many of the techniques and organizations established during this period laid the foundation for modern intelligence services. The Cold War that followed saw an intensification of espionage activities between the United States and the Soviet Union, building on wartime experiences. The OSS evolved into the CIA, while Soviet intelligence agencies expanded their global reach. The technological advancements made in codebreaking and surveillance during World War II continue to influence intelligence operations today. The role of spies in World War II was not merely one of intrigue and adventure. It was a deadly, high-stakes endeavor that shaped the outcome of the most devastating conflict in human history. The courage, ingenuity, and sacrifice of these individuals not only helped secure Allied victory but also changed the nature of warfare and intelligence forever. Their stories remind us that even in the darkest times, acts of bravery and cunning can alter the course of history.